I'd like to ask you a question, Tom, and then come back to Sutapa as we're moving into this. 35 years ago, that's a big number, but I bet it feels like it wasn't that long ago, Tom. I bet you cannot believe, you go, what the hell happened? You woke up one day, you went upstairs, came downstairs, and you're 55 years old, and you said, what the hell just happened there? Seriously, I know that's the feeling I've got. I think that, the question has to be, okay, how do we take it to the next level? 2020, because 2020 through to 2025 is not going to be the same as 2012 to 2017. So to what extent do your organizations have the agility, the adaptability, the sensitivity, the leadership, and to what extent are they learning organizations? Because in the current climate, if you're not a learning organization, it seems to me you're going to be left behind. If you're going to turn up to a 2021 situation with a 2015 toolbox, it seems to me you're going to be in trouble. So as a big, just to bring it all together there, 2021 to 2025, what does the over the horizon stuff look like, Tom? And then I'll come to you, Sutapa, with the same question.
So it's funny, but I would probably say, going back to, I think about 2015, they started a program which we called 2020. And what it was is to bring, leaders in the police department, different sections of the police department, whether it's investigators or whatever, to roundtables to discuss where we should be in 2020. So, we do planning. We do have forward-looking planning. I think that, right now, moving forward, like I say, technology is probably the greatest improvement to policing, but it comes with a lot of responsibilities. So, I think, going forward, technology, training, diversity. I liked what Sutapa said about, women in policing. I think in the States, I think the average is somewhere around 14%. I think the NYPD is somewhere about 18% female officers. So we do encourage female officers very much, and especially in our leadership. So developing young leaders, mentoring them, getting them ready for what's coming in the future. Nobody saw 9/11 coming, and we adapted now, and now we have programs for response to or for prevention of terrorism. Nobody saw this pandemic coming, and we're learning from this pandemic. And again, we have to have a plan going forward. What is our pandemic plan? The department, not to just get away from that for a second, with civilian employees, we're about 52,000 at one point, and we had 5,900 people infected with COVID. We were running at about 60% of our department's capacity. So, you have to have a plan for that, not only to take care of the officers that are working so many hours, but getting them some downtime. People were coming in, working 12 hours, 14 hours a day, and coming back the next day. So, developing plans for these, learning from that. We are right now undergoing a real thorough overview of our response to the George Floyd protests, and coming up with better scenarios. I mean, I think under the circumstances, this was very unprecedented, things that we had never seen in such magnitude. So now we have to develop a plan based on that, and come back and make sure that that's not just for the executives. That's got to be from the chief of department, the police commissioner, right down to the officer just got out of the academy. So I think going forward, I think developing our leaders is very, very important. Education, we're really pushing a lot of external education programs, sending people to some fine schools, also sending people for specialty schools. It's important. We do have a lot of attorneys that are in the department. We do have a lot of people that specialize in different areas, and you have to invest in those people, in their education, that you're going to have them for the next 20, 25 years. So these are the things that we're thinking about going forward, how to just become better. And unfortunately, I'm going to say we have to do more with less, because I do not see, with COVID in the country, COVID in the city, financially, it's going to really hurt. I don't think that we're going to see increases, if not continued decreases of personnel. So, you know, we're going to have to figure out the ways to get more things done with less people. So, you know, I would say those are the visions, I think, that we have going forward.
I mean, the problem, of course, with planning is stuff. If you could get rid of stuff, then you'd have, you know, you'd be much more better able to. But unfortunately, there's always stuff that gets in the way. That's
always gets in the way. But you know, I don't know what's coming next. I joke about this, but you know, we've had so many crises in 2020. You know, I just you know, we can't imagine what would hit us next.
We are, I mean, we are moving into, I mean, this is what we talk about in the ISRM, we are moving into a crisis-rich environment. You know, that crisis is going to be new normal. I mean, you know, you get the storms, you get your winters, you get your flooding, you get your subway, you got, you know, you get your power outages, you know, and then you start layering those all over the top of each other. Interesting times, as they say. Sutapa, I want to give you just very briefly, just to sum up what you said, because I know a lot of people have got a hard stop at 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, so they go on to other stuff. So just very briefly, Sutapa, as a final word to sum things up.
Yeah, so I agree completely with what Tom has said. I'll just add one point. You know, I will try to put the police department into a time machine, and 2020 has been a zero year for everybody, I guess. Well, I'll just add one point, and that is now we need to look at convergence among stakeholders because of resource crunch, because of this, because of that, and different capabilities. Different people have different core capacities, different domain expertise. So we need to adopt more of the convergence approach, because only that is going to generate that critical mass which we need for some social change, or even maybe even for surviving the times to come. So that synergy will be created only when we adopt a convergence approach between the different stakeholders, and the private sector can also come in there.
Well, fantastic. I think you're absolutely right. I mean, certainly, I mean, we're becoming facilitators. I think the organizations, any organization is becoming facilitators, aren't they, as much as anything else?
Yeah, yes.
I sent an email out yesterday saying, I think that the 2 hours will go fast and we won't have to worry about, do we have enough to talk about? I don't think we have to worry about, we could go on forever. But for today, I mean, I generally don't have words, which is not really the case, often the case with me, but Thomas Galati and Sutapa Sanyal, I've got to say thank you so much, both for a lifetime of service and for 2 hours that you've given to the ISRM. We want this to be a platform of global leaders, bring insightful discussion which has significance to a wider community. I think we've achieved that today. We will be following up, but I mean, thank you very much. On behalf of everybody, I just have to say thank you. It's been a genuine pleasure. I wish you all the best in the challenges that you are facing, and we will do it again soon, I hope. But Tom, thank you. Sutapa, thank you very much from everybody here.
Thank you for having me.
Everybody. Thank you so much.
Bye-bye now.
All the best.